I read a book recently that really upset me. I've been in a bit of a slump with videos, and one of you guys suggested that I make videos about my interest over in the community tab. Thanks for that, by the way. Because one of my favorite hobbies is reading, whether it's nonfiction or fiction, a detective mystery, or a romance fantasy, if it's a good book, I will read it. This video is not about a good book. It's not even about a good, bad book. Marked Fated Mates is just a straight up bad book. Duh, Tiara, I'm sure you're thinking just hearing the name of this book, but listen, okay, one of my first ever Kindle books back in high school was about fated mates couple werewolf shifters, so there is a small special place in my heart for these kind of stories. Guess you could call it a guilty pleasure. Anyway, I was metaphorically swiping left and right in the Kindle library for my next read. Late 20s engaged woman searching for a spiceless, smutless, fated love story. And then I saw it. Marked Fated Mates. The profile bio had me swooning. A young lady, unwittingly a werewolf, an alpha wolf, fated mate, and best of all, a closed-door romance. Okay, I know some of you just got sick hearing my reasoning, but stick with me, okay? The rant, I promise, the rant is coming. I started this story, let's call it the first date, and I was so sure that this was the one. The characters had distinct voices and clear motivations. The world was unique and rich. The threads that were left lying seemed like they would all tie up nicely in the end. Nothing too challenging, pretty descriptive words, and easy fun. And then we got to the second date, is what I'll call it. I guess you could say the author prompted this second date. And it did not go well. It was like reading a completely different book. The author's original narrative disappeared, and in its place was something that felt very chatty. Now, I will never be someone that will accuse someone else of using ChatGPT or some other AI tool to write their books with unjust cause or no evidence. Do unto others and whatnot. So that's not going to be my focus. However, I want you to listen to this passage and determine for yourself what you think. Before I read the passage, I just have to say though, while reading this book, I very acutely realized that I would rather read something bad with spelling mistakes, extended plot points, and grammar issues out the wazoo than continue to read this book. So, this is me telling you that it is important more now than ever for you to pursue your passions, especially if it's bad. It's the heart and soul that goes into a creative work that makes it so memorable, special, and beautiful. So do the thing. I know that you can. I believe in your ability, your natural ability, and I believe in you. I don't believe that this author wrote this asinine passage from the book that we're discussing. Cassie's eyes flash. Why? She demands, but the edge in her voice falters for a fraction of a second. Because she smells like mystery? Because she looks at you like you're the only real thing in the world? Her breath catches, almost imperceptibly. Because she doesn't even know what she is, and you'd still choose her over someone who's trained, who's bled for this pack? Her voice lowers, just enough that only a few close in the circle can hear the tremor behind it. I've done everything right. I followed every rule, been strong when no one else was, and it still wasn't enough for you. And scene. Now please, in the comments, I beg of you, tell me, I desperately need to know. What does mystery smell like? Okay, is it the mystery airhead flavor? Someone who knows more than me, please let me know. Mind you, this is a character who should not know half the things that she's saying. A large mistake that some unrefined storytellers make is having a character know more than they should. And so if someone, say, prompted something and was going through to edit that work, although I don't even think this author did that, they won't be able to catch that writing flaw. Take my story, The Lost Land Sage, for example. Grandma Willow's words of meeting Wisteria and the mysterious Ever are what drives our witchy protagonist into her obsessive drive to die. She believes that the Ever is life after death. In her mind, if she wants to see her grandma, she has to die first. Hopefully, only temporarily. Grandma Willow knows that the Ever is a realm between space and time. No death necessary, just mental wherewithal. But Wisteria does not know that, at least not yet in the story, so she doesn't just start meditating to try and see her grandma again, she starts making poisons. And marked, why on earth would the female main character's love rival know that the way the female main character looks at the male main character is like he's the only real thing in the world? That's not something that's perceptible by her character. It's AI fluff phrasing, and what does mystery smell like? Okay. Deep breath, everybody. I want to tell you guys about one more issue in this book that ultimately caused me to not finish it halfway through, but in a second. I want to bring back around The Lost Land Sage. It's actually my graphic novel series, and volume 1 of 10 is now purchasable on my website and Amazon. If you're interested, go to readprojectsage.com or search The Lost Land Sage on Amazon. Now, the final nail in Mark's proverbial coffin is made obvious in these next two passages. Now, for context, these two passages happened within pages of each other. Your father, she says finally, her voice barely louder than the kettle starting to whistle. Your father was Alpha of the Black Hollow Pack. My fingers tighten on the edge of the table. Everyone thought it couldn't happen, she continues, still staring at somewhere that isn't me. A human becoming Luna. It was impossible, except it wasn't. Her mouth curves into something that might have been a smile in another life. We fell in love anyway. All right, now keep that in mind. We are going to go forward to the next passage, a couple pages later. I have a fight coming, I say, voice steady. Mom frowns. What fight? There's this girl, I say, exhaling slowly, Cassie. She thinks she's the future Luna. Mom's brows knit. Luna? Yeah, apparently that's what they call the Alpha's mate. I hesitate, fingers brushing the crescent moon pendant at my neck. Then I look her in the eye. And Bolton says, I'm his. That I'm his mate. All right, I know you guys are cringing, okay? Keep it together for me, keep it together. I'm not asking you to read this book. In fact, I am directly telling you, do not support this series. I'm not going to say don't support the author. She could have a change of heart, really put her heart into the work that she's doing, but like, don't support this series. Anyway, cringe aside, let's break this down logically. Okay. Her mom, right. Her mom was a human Luna, and she knew that. But also, in a couple of pages, she needs her daughter to explain to her what a Luna is, because she's perplexed by the phrasing. Right? Right. Okay. Yep. Got it. Anyway, I very obviously DNF'd this book about 53% of the way through it. I realized that I would rather read trash fanfiction. No, I would literally rather read Verity by Colleen Hoover every day for a year than finish this book. And I cannot stand Verity by Colleen Hoover. I think it's my least favorite book ever to exist. So anyway, I just didn't finish this book. I think that even if you read my own story, The Lost Land Sage, and think that it is a 1-star magical trash, at least I know that it's my 1-star magical trash. I'm not so sure that this other author can say the same. Of course, I was the silly goofy goober that actually bought all 4 books upon reading the first book's description, and I can't return them. So, who's the real joke here? This is what I'm going to be calling my slump era. I'm so sorry if you're disappointed about today's video. I tried my best to incorporate some kind of creative advice or motivation within it, which is typical of this channel, but I don't know, I'm doing my best, guys. Between the book launch that happened this past January 4th, the chapter 5 launch that happened January 11th, the book signing that's coming up at the end of January, the meet and greet, and still having a full-time job, and also, did I mention we're planning a wedding? I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad! You keep digging!